some years ago, I was giving some teachings in Brazil about the Bodhisattva Charyavatara, the 6th chapter on patience. And then at a certain point, one person came and a little bit nervous. Said, "Oh, but I have been practicing this and maybe I have been listening to these teachings for more than 20 years, you know. It's beautiful, everything, but when anger comes, it simply comes. It's useless to say, no, we should not be angry because of this and because of that." Very beautiful, all these teachings. But truly, when anger comes, it comes. There is nothing to do about it. Like in a way saying, look, the teachings truly doesn't work. And what I said at the time, and I still believe in it, it is that somehow it's true. Just understanding is not enough. And the teachings were not given intended just there to be understanding. The teachings were given with the intention for us first to listen, then to comprehend, and then to meditate. Because we do not function based on understanding, we function based on experience. So, it's not enough to understand that I don't need to get angry. I need to have experiences of patience. I need to induce myself into the experiences of patience in front of the object of anger, so that gradually I'm able to develop more and more patience. But the process that we have is, first we need to listen, which is understand what someone is explaining us by listening, by reading. Then we need to comprehend. Comprehension is when there is no any more doubt whatsoever about that subject. It's not something that I am repeating because someone else told me. It's something that I have based on my own understanding and based on my own experience. And then the third step is I need to meditate on it. I need to familiarize myself with it until it becomes natural and spontaneous. That's what we call the Tösam Gomsum. Listening, comprehending, and meditating. So meditation, it's very, very important part of the path. But for whatever reason, nowadays we have this very strong idea that once we understood, that's enough. And we love reading books, we love going to lessons and receiving more and more information and getting more and more information, which is good in a way. But it's just the first step. Listening is the most easy part, gaining information. Comprehending is a bit more difficult, it takes a bit more of time and effort. And meditating takes much more time and effort. But it's only through meditation, it's only through familiarizing ourselves with that state of consciousness. And it's not to meditate on the concept, it's to meditate on the state of mind that we want to develop. That's why, as we said yesterday, meditation is when we induce ourselves into a certain state of consciousness in order for that state of consciousness to become natural and spontaneous. So if I need to meditate on love, first I understand the importance of love and so on. Then I comprehend that. Then I need to induce myself into the feeling of love so that I can familiarize myself with it more and more, so it can come more easily in a spontaneous way. Okay. So when we talk about patience, generosity, compassion, and so on, understanding is good, but it's truly not enough. We must meditate. And I don't know why very often we just want to have information. No? Somehow, sometimes I think it's like, because to listen is easy, it does not depend on our own effort necessarily. To meditate, it depends on us. No? So it's a bit more difficult. But anyhow, the point that I want to bring here is that, as we said yesterday, why to meditate? Basically, making it short and simple. Our mind is the most powerful resource that we have. It's the mind that can create harmony. It's the mind through which we can have build up beautiful relationships. It's through the minds that we can make incredible things. And in the material world or whatever, it's through the minds that we can, at the same time, take care of our health or anything. and then get enlightened also. It's through the mind. On the other side, it's through the mind that we can destroy relationships. It's through the mind that we can destroy relations in the community. It's through the mind that we can make wars. It's through the mind that we can make everything, destroy our health even. It's like, I was one time I had a long discussion one time with a doctor in Brazil. He's a psychiatrist. He's a friend. And after this discussion, went into a book. And the discussion was basically based on the fact, which was, who is the one commanding? Who is the one that is in power? The mind or the body? Because the point comes, is the mind influenced by the chemicals in the body or not? Yes. Okay. Depending on the hormones, the mind is influenced. It's very clear that. Okay. Depending on everything, depending on how is the kidney, how is the liver, whatever, all the hormones and all the chemicals of the body influences the mind. There is no doubt about that. But does the mind influences the body or not? Sure, no doubt about that. Depending if we have anxiety, if we have fear, depending if whatever state of mind we are, this is having a very strong influence in the body also. So the question is, who comes first? No? Who is the one that really has the control? Who is the one really in power? So we got to the conclusion, because in the beginning he was more about the body and I was saying it's the mind. Then as we went on discussing and so on, we got to the conclusion which is saying both are very, very important, but finally is the mind. Why? One of the reasons is because we can see that when a person has a very difficult mental illness or whatever, a very unstable mental state, this person can take medicines, can induce the body to a certain chemical state, and this will influence the mind. Okay? And the mind can be suddenly happy, satisfied, looks like everything is okay. But the point is that if the person on that process doesn't make a psychological process of changing one's own behavior and attitude and understanding things differently, if the mind is not changed, that same state of mind will come back again and again. And very often you need higher doses of medicine to bring that chemical state stronger and stronger. Instead, if the mind is changed, then naturally the body will change also. So finally, there is no such a thing as a pill of happiness. There is not such a thing as making a perfect chemical balance in the body for the mind to be completely happy. It doesn't exist in this way. Even though many people tried. Maybe many still believe in it, but I do not. On the other side, if the mind is stable and satisfied and so on, it will naturally create a very good chemical aspect in the body also, Even the strength of the body, everything is connected to the mind also. So making it short, the mind is the biggest resource that we have in our lives. The most powerful one. So, we need to take care of it. And for whatever reason nowadays, who is taking care much of the mind? We take care of our diet, we take care of making exercises, we take care of our material situations, we take care of knowledge, but it's not only a matter of knowledge, it's a matter of our emotional states and our mind as a whole. And we don't do that so much. So to meditate, it's actually to exercise the mind on what we want to become. To meditate, it's a way of exercising the mind, of taking care of our mind as the most precious resource that we have. And I think this is something very valuable, very important for us to do. So, it's not something that we are disconnected, that we cannot take care. We can take care of our mind. And one of the ways of doing that it's actually true meditation. There are other ways also, but one of the most powerful ways is actually true meditation. So here again, one of the reasons why to meditate. Then on that, in the same way like when we do a physical exercise, if for example I want to have more strong arms, I can do exercise for the arms. If I want to develop one specific aspect of the mind, I can do specific exercises for that part of the mind. So this will depend on what is the object of meditation and so on. But the first step of meditation is to bring our mind to a state of calm and peace and to focus the mind into one object, but to be able to control one's own mind. That's the first step that we need to do. Once we are able to do that, then we can meditate on almost infinite things. It is said that there are as many objects of meditation as many phenomena exist in the world. Everything can be an object of meditation. So sure, we need to choose in the correct way. But first we need to have the ability to meditate. Then we can change the object of meditation. And normally in all the texts which are explaining how to meditate and so on, especially when we go in the sadhanas and the explanation about the sadhanas and the yidams and so on, the techniques of meditation and recitation, it's the practice of meditation is divided into two parts, the practice. How to practice during the meditation session and how to practice between the meditation sessions. And the final objective, if not the final one of the important level where we want to reach, one of the goals is what is called Nyamje Nyampa, which means to have equanimity between the meditative state and the post-meditative state. Which means when we are meditating, we have a certain state of mind, and when we are not meditating, we have a very similar state of mind. And this is very much possible. So one of the positive effects of meditating is that after, the more we meditate, the more stable mind we will have also when we are doing other things. If I am reading, if I am writing, if I'm talking, if I'm listening, if I'm walking, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it will bring me the ability to be more present in what I'm doing, and to have more awareness and to have the mind more peaceful also, outside of the meditative state also. So we will talk a little bit about this later today. Okay? So we will do now today the meditation that we did yesterday. I was just explaining some other things again that we already explained yesterday because I see many new people here today that were not here yesterday, but I think the English speakers already were here yesterday. So I don't need now to go back and re-explain it again. But it's just the explanation of the posture of meditation and the importance to keep our mind centered, to relax the mind within the object of meditation, which we will start with our breath. One thing which I didn't explain yesterday, when we focus on our breath, we can focus the attention or simply on our nostrils, the air coming in and out from our nostrils, or we can focus on the actual flow of the breath, going in and out also. Okay? So we will do now the meditation. So for that, let's sit in a comfortable position, just as we did yesterday. As I will also play the bell, as I did yesterday, giving the help of the sound of the bell to bring the attention to the present moment within ourselves, okay? As the sound of the bell gets less and less loud, weaker and weaker, we imagine that our attention goes more and more within ourselves as we follow our own breath, okay? So we sit in a comfortable position, our shoulders are relaxed. Our mouth is relaxed. Our eyes are slightly closed, looking downwards. We are aware of our own breath. We deeply relax in the present moment as we observe the air that goes in and the air that goes out.